Going to be very upset with me, Bailey. I can tell.
You can't survive spending $8,815 a month. We got $1,500 left in your bank account at the end of the statement. I could care less about your credit score right now. First transaction, $38 at Grubhub. There's no reason you should be ordering takeout when we got $3,500 worth of credit card debt.
I don't know what I spend it on.
Second one, Instacart for $134. So not only are you Grubhubbing delivery food, you're also getting groceries delivered.
And you want to know what's even stupid?
Lisa, you got to be getting that money and filing every single month to get that back.
But one, it cost me a lot of money.
We got Grubhub again for $44. We got to stop the Grubhub.
But sometimes, like at midnight, I need snacks that I don't have.
Being in debt's your enjoyment? So buying stuff to go into debt is your enjoyment. That doesn't sound enjoyable to me. Are the clothes in your closet, or they all have holes in them, or why did we spend $90 at Fashion Nova? Target, $142. Could you have gone 3 months without buying new clothes? Answer that yes or no.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are non-necessities. Now it really comes down to you at this point. Do you want to do it? Are you going to do it?
My name is Lisa Jacobelli. I am 57 years old, and I'm calling in from Hoboken, New Jersey.
Awesome. What do you do for work up in Hoboken, Lisa?
I work for the city, and I'm actually in the senior citizens department. So I used to work in the court, which I thought was dangerous because you were dealing with prisoners, but actually working with the seniors is a little more dangerous because you mess with their bingo cards and you're in trouble. So nah, it's good. I love my job.
That's awesome. How long have you been doing it for?
I'm about 7 years with the seniors, but I'm 27 years with the city.
And what is your current income?
I have no idea. I'm gonna say I don't. My check is, I think I'm making 70,000 maybe, but that's including others. I think my daughter's check from Social Security. I don't know. See, that's why I need help. That's why
How do you not know how much money you're making?
I don't know because I don't know. I just look at my check and I don't even remember. 16 something every 2 weeks I take home.
1648 it looks like.
Yes, that's it.
Okay, so 1648 times 2, you're bringing in $3,300 basically a month, which is about $40,000 a year after taxes. Is there health insurance, or there's stuff taken out of that? Is there any
There's a lot of stuff taken out on that.
retirement plans taken out of that?
Retirement plan and it used to be called VALIC. I don't know what it is now, but they take I think 75 out of my check. That's like not mandatory. I opted, my dad made me take it out.
Oh, it's a variable annuity life insurance plan.
Dave,
Is that what it is?
I guess so. It's life insurance? All I know is they take $75 out. They came to the job one day and they said, listen, we'll take $25 out of your pay to save for you. You're not allowed to touch it until you retire, and then it's yours.
So you're saving some money somewhere then, at least. It might be an annuity plan, which isn't usually the best, but it's better than nothing. So the issue is we don't know what our income is. And if you're taking home, like I said, about $3,300 a month, that's $40,000 a year. That puts you about $52,000.
That sounds about right.
That sounds very off from what you initially told me, which was $62,000. What you put on the form when you initially.
Oh, that's what I thought I saw. You see, Billy, I need help.
Well, after this show, what I'd suggest you is go in whatever your payroll provider is that you're getting paid through, figure out where that is, and then pull a recent pay stub. And you can look at that and see, okay, this is what your payroll is. And then you can figure out what your gross salary is on top of that. So that is concerning off the bat. Is been in the shop for 7 years, you don't know how much money you're making. And that is one of the first issues when it comes to bad financial habits is if you don't know how much money you're making, I can also promise you don't know how much money you're spending every single month. And if you don't know how much money you're spending every single month, you're going to be living paycheck to paycheck. You're going to have credit card debt, and you're never going to be able to get out of that cycle. So step one is about improving your financial situation is always having a plan, and with having a plan, you have to know your numbers. And right now, we don't know our current numbers with that, so that is not a good start.
We're not off to a good start.
We're here to learn today. That's what matters.
Okay,
but we can only go up from here right now. So,
right.
So we're gonna put a ballpark. For my calculation, it looks like about $53,000, and so your net take-home pay is $3,300 a month right now.
Yeah,
but then you said you also get a check every single month for your daughter's Social Security. It sounds like.
So now my daughter has Down syndrome, and she gets $600 a month from Social Security. My daughter should have a caretaker come in, right? Supposed to have a caretaker come in and help. But ever since COVID, when people weren't allowed in the house, they were actually paying the parent. They were paying the parent to do it. And so now they're just giving you the option to stay that way, right? So they pay me as her caretaker. That's on top of the $600 from Social Security.
Okay. And that's what I see. I see $653 Social Security income that's coming in.
Right. But you have to punch in and stuff. And I forget all the time. So it's not a set amount every month. And so I get 72 hours a month at $25. But I don't always punch in. And so I lose out. I don't get the full 72 hours all the time.
Why don't you punch in? I mean, that's probably over $1,000 difference that you're missing out on then.
I know, because I forget. I have a lot of things on my mind, Bill.
Because you're supposed to be getting 72 hours at $25.
Yeah.
I mean, that is $1,800 that you should be bringing in. Obviously, if that's taxable, then it's probably going to be about $1,400 roughly. But I mean, that's $800 difference right there.
You look very concerned.
I am concerned. Should be a lot more, but right now we're not clocking enough hours to get that.
Isn't that sad?
Sounds like that's something we need to change. Then we need to start clocking in so you can make sure you're getting the benefits that you're supposed to be getting.
Yeah.
There's one payment for $653. There's another one for $898, and then there's another one for $591.
Those are all the caretaker. That's me being paid to watch my daughter.
So that's over $2,000 a month coming in from that. So that plus your normal income, which is $3,300, that brings us to $5,400 roughly in income coming in every single month.
Okay. Plus the $600.
Does that sound about right?
No, it still says more. Let me just look. It doesn't even matter. Not that it matters. No, it matters big time. But the thing is I don't know what I take home, and I don't know what I spend, and I don't.
Easiest way to look at that right now is on the bank statement. It says in this statement you had $5,677 deposited to your bank account during this statement period. So that includes your normal payroll, that includes the Social Security, and that includes the health insurance coverage as well. So $5,677.43. That is your income for this time period. There's some transactions that are PayPal on here. There's for like $100. There's some transactions for a mobile deposit for $61, but majority of that is the payroll and the health insurance income.
Right.
So we'll go ahead and put we're somewhere in the ballpark of $5,500 to $5,700.
That sounds, yeah.
Okay. So how would you define your current financial situation on a scale of 1 to 10? Now that it just took us 10 minutes to figure out your income coming in right now.
I think a 7, right? Because my bills are getting paid and I'm living okay, comfortably. But I know one big thing that comes up and I'm gonna be in trouble. See, my father opened up accounts for me, so I had one big account that I had to use. I used it. It saved me, but the other accounts I have, I don't think I could take those out. So I'm in trouble somewhere.
Okay, we'll dive more into that. So you rate yourself a 7 on a scale of 1 to 10, which means that's more like a comfortable situation. And looking at just the first 10 minutes of our conversation, trying to figure out how much money you're making and seeing some debt on the balance sheet, I'm not going to put you at a 7 initially. We'll kind of go through that as we go along, but there's definitely room in areas for improving, because if we're living paycheck to paycheck right now, not able to save money, having to use investment accounts that your father left you, that's not a situation that I want you to be in. That's not a situation that I want anyone to be in. So we're going to go through the entire situation, figure out what we can do, what to change your financial habits so that you're not living paycheck to paycheck, so you can figure out where your money's going and so you can figure out how much money you're making.
Yes.
So on that note, talking about debts, what debts do we have right now?
I think just my credit cards. My car is paid for, and just my credit cards.
Okay, and what is the total balance on your credit cards right now?
$500 on my Amazon card and $2,000 on my Wells Fargo card.
Is there $1,000 missing somewhere else? Because you told me $3,500 in the initial conversation. What about this Visa card? Is that Wells Fargo?
It should be Wells Fargo. No, yeah, Visa is Wells Fargo. Chase is Amazon.
You only have those two cards?
Yeah.
Okay, so you got $2,500. So it's gone down in the recent couple weeks because you sent me $3,500.
Yes. It's gone down because I made a couple of big payments, which I probably shouldn't do, right?
No, you should do. You got to pay off debt. You don't want to be carrying a credit card balance.
No. Well, my father always told me never pay the minimum. Always pay more than the minimum.
100%. You should, if you can't pay your credit card off in full every single month, you shouldn't be using a credit card.
Well, actually, what he told me was, don't put anything on the credit card that you can't pay off.
And you're not following that advice from your father.
I'm not. You don't. He's since passed away, but you have no idea how many times he sat me down and did this. What you're doing.
Well, if you didn't listen to him, hopefully you'll change it and you'll listen to me. I don't know if you'll listen to a random guy on the internet, but I'm gonna push you just as your father pushed you, and we're gonna figure out how to change this. So make him proud. Next thing, assets. So we only debt is credit cards. What assets do we have right now?
My children and my smile. I have no assets. My car, that's not even, no, that's it. I don't have any assets. What's an asset? Something I own that costs money?
Retirement account, savings.
Oh. Yes, I have the IRA and a brokerage account.
Okay, so I see a brokerage account with about $14,780. I see an IRA with $15,399.
Right.
And I see another brokerage account with $3,709, it looks like.
That's my daughter's college.
Okay.
So she's using that for college. That was for her, set up for her to go to college.
Okay. So if we wanted to remove that entirely, go ahead.
She already used 8,000 of it, and there's 3,000 left, but she's only a sophomore, so.
Okay. That means right now, I'll remove that from the equation right now then, and just in terms of assets. So the assets we have is the brokerage account, which is $14,780, the IRA, which is $15,399. Then our savings, we have roughly $1,950 in there, which brings your total assets to $32,133 with total debts of $2,500, which brings your net worth to about $29,633. Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
What do you think of that number right now?
I don't like it.
I don't like it either.
No.
It's positive. It's a positive number, which is one good thing. But the issue is right now, 57, that means we got to start saving and hustling because you're supposed to retire.
It should have been so much higher. Yeah, it should have been so much higher.
It should be more at where you are right now. And Social Security, I hope and pray it's here for people when they turn 65, 66, 67. But who knows what the next 10 years is going to bring? Who knows where Social Security is going to be? So we got to start taking action today and start setting yourself up so you have a nest egg, so you have money to start saving and live off of when you want to retire. Because I don't want you to work until you're 99 years old either. So.
Oh, gosh. Right. That's why I'm here.
University, college. You go to college?
I didn't.
Okay. And what was your kind of career path or life from, I guess, when you moved out of the house to now?
So I never wanted a career. I wanted to get married and have kids, and that's it. My family, the way it was the kids went to school, the wife stayed home, and very large Italian family, all lived together. So the wife said the men went out to work. The day school ended, we went down the shore. We didn't come home until the day before school started. And my father would come down on Wednesdays and the weekends, my father and my uncles. And I wanted to follow that path. But when I was 18 and my father said on the first Sunday that we were down the shore, he's like, let's go, we got to go home. I said, what are you talking about? It's the summer. I'm not working. He's like, you have to work. You can't, and I had to get a job from then. And I've been devastated ever since, Bailey. Ever since. So, and I suffered from panic and anxiety attacks. So I was never able, I started college, couldn't go because I was too afraid. I had to, they not forced me, but I managed to get myself to a service, like a whatever, and I took a test and they said to me, oh, you're very good at numbers. Imagine that. I'm very good at numbers. And they said, we want you to go uptown to New York and there's a bank. And we want you to go there. Well, I went, the sweat, I was crying, I was vomiting on the thing. I couldn't, they set me home with my own checks, a nameplate. They said, come back tomorrow. I never went back. I was too afraid. I was getting panic attacks. So I got little dead-end jobs here in Hoboken. And then finally I landed a job with the city, which at first I thought was awesome because I go to work at 9. I'm home by 4. I'm 2 blocks from my house, but it's a dead end. It's the insurance is decent. I get a nice, insurance package, but it's a dead end job. So. And
so you've been working with the city, you said, for 27 years now?
27 years. Yep. All I'm doing now is pushing my daughter because I keep telling her, you don't want to wind up like mommy working for the city.
Let's dive into the childhood then. What was your childhood like growing up in New Jersey?
picture perfect. Other than my anxiety attacks, which I really did suffer from them. At one point, I couldn't leave my house. I was really bad. I had other than that, I just remember, never wanted for anything, but we didn't have but we did have a summer house down the shore that we're still in the same house. It was my great grandmother's. It was built in 1938. It's still there. And we're still, me, my brother, my mother, my cousins, we're 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 3 dogs, 20 people. We're all there and we love it. So I felt like I had everything, and we were comfortable, but I didn't have, we didn't have designer this and designer that, but it was great. Played outside around the block with my friends, home at dinner, watched the Cosby Show and whatever. Went to bed, the Charlie Brown specials at Christmas time. It was perfect.
Is that house still in your family?
Yeah, still there.
Okay. Well, growing up, how did your parents approach money? Sounds like your dad tried to instill some different lessons in you.
My father taught us so much about money, but he never made us worry about money. Do you know what I'm saying? We didn't know, my kids, my daughter, she knows that I'm struggling, because I'm a single mom. So, she knows that I'm struggling, and she knows, and I tell her. My father had 3 jobs. He walked around with a hole in his shoe that he had cardboard in it so his socks didn't get wet. But I didn't know. That. So he taught us about money, but he didn't let us worry about it. And the first game I remember was we would play with flashcards, whether it be our alphabets. My brother's 4 years younger than me. Whether it would be with alphabets or numbers. And if you got it right, you got a penny. If you got it wrong, you got a penny taken away. So he taught us without making us worry about it. My mother was a stay-at-home mom, and he told my mother, you don't have to work. Because some people used to tease my mother, and they used to say, oh, your husband wants you pregnant and in the kitchen, But my father says, no, my wife can work if she wants, but she doesn't have to work. So he worked really hard, and then he got a job at Bendix, which is an aerospace company. He worked on the space shuttle and the Hubble telescope. He built some stuff for the Army. He did that. He worked some Saturdays, but he was, home every day at 5:00, and it was perfect. I had the perfect childhood. I really did.
What do you think some of the most important financial lessons your parents taught you growing up?
Well, like I said, with the credit card, right? If you can't pay it off the next month, don't buy it. And it was basically save some, pay your bills, save some, and spend a little on yourself. Especially when I first got my taxes came in, he said, first pay off your bills, whatever bills you have, pay them. He says, then buy yourself, maybe a couple of pieces for your wardrobe, get your nails done, go for a spa, go on vacation if you want, and then put some away to save.
Yeah, I mean, got to pay your bills, got to save some, and then you also have to enjoy life a little bit.
But also, you have to enjoy it. Huh?
But look at current financial situation. Doesn't look like we're listening to Dad right now. And we're paying your bills mostly, besides credit card debt. We're not saving anything. And I'm assuming we're spending a lot of money on yourself. So we got to start figuring out where's that money going. So we're going to dive into your current monthly expenses.
Yeah, I don't spend anything on myself. I really don't. And my daughter has a job. I don't really give her that much money, which breaks my heart. And my other daughter doesn't need money, unfortunately, So.
Okay, so you got two children?
I have 2 children. My 19-year-old is a sophomore in Fairleigh Dickinson University. She got a scholarship. And my other daughter is 22. She has Down syndrome. So she doesn't need the money. And because of her, I'm home every night. I don't go out. I don't spend money. I don't, me and my daughter share the car, and she pays for her own gas and whatever. So.
Okay. So let's look at where all this money's going then, because right now, net income putting you about $5,500 because we have your 2 payroll checks each month, about $3,300. And then between the healthcare and the Social Security, you're bringing in additional about $2,200 a month on that. So $5,500, what we'll call it. We have rent, looks like $1,348 a month. We have home maintenance. You put $100. Is that for utilities or what is that for?
Yeah, I guess no, just for buying I guess if I need something fixed or whatever. It's I don't know what I spend it on. I don't know what I spend on the house. I can't break it down because I don't know.
Okay. So gas, you put $320. And car insurance, you have 0. Do you know how much your car insurance is?
$218 a month.
$218. Okay. So we'll add that in there.
Right. And that's going to go up significantly when I put my daughter on it.
And then groceries, you put $0. How much money you spend a month on groceries?
Oh, no, I put $0. Oh my God, forget about it. So I'm going to say, oh my God, let's see. I'm going to say $300 a week.
$1,200 a month. Okay. And is the younger daughter that's in college, is she living at home? Is she eating at home, or is it just for you and your 22-year-old?
She's living home.
That's for 3 of y'all. And then we have, so that brings your total necessities about $3,200. And then in the total fund money, we've got $300 a month for eating out, $100 for entertainment, and $600 for shopping.
Well, I did that wrong. I meant 600 shopping food, probably.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I don't have 600 to go shop.
Okay. So then we have $300 for eating out and $100 for entertainment. Is that all? We have no gifts and donations, health and fitness, personal care, travel, pet.
Yeah. No pet, no travel, minimum personal care. Subscriptions I have all over the place, and I don't know what they are. I do the trial, and then I forget. I go, I'll do the trial, and then I'll cancel. And then do I cancel, Bailey? I don't cancel. And then months from now, I'll see something. I go, what is this? Oh, that's right. I did that. I did do that.
Okay, so that means we got only $400 a month for total fund money, plus however much you spend on subscriptions, which is an unknown amount right now. But that brings your total monthly expenses to $3,600. So $3,600 is the expenses that we are estimating right now, but we're bringing in $5,500, which means $1,900 is missing right there. That is a $1,900 a month
just floating in the wind. Right.
So that means we're going to dive into your monthly transactions and figure out where's this money, where's it going, how much money you actually spending on things.
Okay.
The issue right now you're not aware of how much money you're making, you're not aware of how much money you're spending, you're not budgeting anything. And if you're not intentional, if you're not tracking that, there's no way to measure if progress is being made. There's no way to measure how much you spend in different categories. And I can promise you'll be amazed by just simply plugging this into an online tool, and you will see how much money you spend on groceries, how much money you spend shopping, how much money you spend on X, Y, and Z. And it's going to give you a lot more clear picture of this is where all your money's going. And unless you are aware of that, there's no way to get out of this financial situation, because it's just the money's just going to go as quickly as it came in. And if you don't fix these problems now, you should be doing a lot better. And if you don't fix these problems now, they're never going to change. And these are things you need to start teaching especially your 19-year-old is, hey, I learned that I need to start budgeting, and you can start instilling those financial habits in her while she's young, so that when she's 57, she's not making these same mistakes. And you can change the trajectory of your daughter's life by just helping her, educating her, and her also being a part of this journey with you to start learning about money and finances even more. It'll give you an accountability buddy, and it'll also give you just allowing you to teach her the lessons that your father was teaching you that you didn't listen to, but you can teach them to your daughter, and hopefully she'll listen to you.
Right.
So let's look at these transactions. First transaction, $38 at Grubhub. There's no reason you should be ordering takeout, ordering stuff on delivery apps when we got $3,500 worth of credit card debt.
Right.
So the first thing that needs to go on your phone, Grubhub, DoorDash, whatever you have, go on your phone after this, delete those apps. Because guess what? You're paying a markup on those prices. You're paying delivery fees. You're paying outrageous service fees. And you paid $38 for probably what is if you walked there or drove there, a $15 meal. And if you want to get out of debt, hey, guess what? We got to start changing some of these habits. And one of those is eating out. Shouldn't be eating out, especially ordering delivery like this when we got debt on the table. Second one, Instacart for $134.
Stop.
So not only are you Grubhubbing delivery food, you're also getting groceries delivered. And trust me, Instacart is a phenomenal service. It's easy, whatever. It makes your life easy. But guess what? Again, you're paying probably 10% markups on those. You're paying service fees. You're paying tips and everything else in between. So those $133, you better get your butt over to the grocery store and get that yourself. Make a list. I can promise you'll spend less than $133.
Absolutely.
So on that one day alone, we spent $170 on food all through delivery services. That's got to change. We've got CVS for $46, more CVS. You want a CVS a bunch on this day. How much? You spend $120 at CVS in one day in like 4 different transactions? $46, $10, $7, $75.
$46 was because my medicine ran short and the insurance wouldn't cover it, so I had to pay out of pocket for that.
But you got $40 cash back out of that transaction.
From I don't know.
Okay, so there's different stuff. That's what, again, you got to figure out what are these transactions, because if you don't know what it is, when we're recalling these right now, then those might not be necessities. You're spending money, but we got all these different transactions at CVS right there. And then the next one we got is Verizon, $217.
Yeah, that's the cell phones. It's mine, my daughter's, and my mom's.
Paying for your mom's phone bill?
Yes, but only because she pays remember the 150 I was telling you about for the Shore House? It's easier for her to pay my brother because he's in charge of the account. She pays him that, and then in turn I pay her phone bill. And it was my father's phone, and the accounts were together. It was just easier that way.
Are they all financed phones, or what's the deal with that being $217? It seems a little high.
It is a little high but everybody says I should get the prepaid phones but I don't know how to do that. I never know. It's never as easy as people say it is. They say you just got to do this, but then when I try, no, you got to do that first, then you could do that. And I throw up my hands and I go, you know what? Oh wait, 217 is Verizon. Wait a minute now. No, I'm lying to you, Bailey. I'm lying to you. 217 from Verizon, okay, is for my landline.
Why do you have a landline?
Because I need the triple play on my phone, on my TV, and my internet. You can't get the TV and the internet unless you have to pay for the phone too. But I don't have my landline, and we don't watch TV.
So we need to cancel those things.
I have to cancel that.
You're just lighting money on fire if you have a landline you don't use and you have TV you don't use.
No, not really. We have a stream. My daughter has the Roku TV, so she streams everything, and I watch it on my phone. But I don't want to get rid of my TV because what if I want to watch the news, something like a local channel? How do I can't. Everybody's told see, there you go. Everybody told me get the Fire Stick. I get the Fire Stick. Just plug it in, Lee. I plug it in. You got to download this and go there and go. I don't know what I'm doing, so I don't do it. So now I have a Fire Stick that I don't use.
And you got $217 of Verizon bills of stuff you don't use. So
right,
that's something that's not on the budget right now. That's something that needs to go change, something, modify the plan down. I mean, you can get that down to just the bare minimums that you want. Do it, but $217 for all of that. I mean, you can get, at least where I am, you can get Wi-Fi for $50. And if you want cable, you can get YouTube TV, that's $70. And that's $120 versus right now you're paying $217. Anyway, you got to start figuring out stuff when it comes to cable, landlines, Wi-Fi, because that $217 is definitely way too high. Next up, we got Grubhub again for $44. We got to stop the Grubhub.
Yeah. But sometimes, like at midnight, I need snacks that I don't have.
You know what you should do is go to the grocery store and buy whatever snacks you want within reason and have that in your pantry for when you get hungry at night. Not go spend $44 on Grubhub a few nights a week, because that's going to add up quickly.
Yes, in my defense, Bailey, well, first of all, in the pandemic, whatever, but because I have panic and anxiety attacks, I wasn't able to even go to the grocery store. See, so when Instacart came, it was like a godsend and a curse because I could order it, right? But one, it cost me a lot of money. And two, it forced me to stop going out and even trying, which made my anxiety worse. So while it was an easy fix, it wasn't a long-term fix.
So that means we got to stop doing this so you can get back and get outside more and not hurt yourself there, because it's hurting your wallet and it's also hurting you.
Right. But I know I can clean up a lot of things, and I have to. Like the 217, I don't need Grub. I have a grocery store two blocks down. I just have to force myself to stop being afraid and go.
Yeah, have to do that and have to figure out what can you do to change. And again, Grubhub, if you're hungry at night, I have no problem with snacking at night. If that's what you want to do, within reason, don't want you to indulge too much, but when you get your groceries, you got to be getting snacks that you can eat throughout the week, so you're not ordering DoorDash. Because the worst thing in the world at night, I understand, is like 11 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night, and you're hungry, and you're like, I don't want to cook anything. You look at the pantry, nothing looks good. Okay, let's go spend $50 on Grubhub. And it's just a vicious cycle that you have to break and have to get out of. So more DoorDash on here, or more Grubhub on here for $44. We got McDonald's on here for $25. Right. Chocolate Works for $27. I'm a huge chocolate fan, but shouldn't be spending $27 on chocolate.
Chocolate Works? I didn't order Chocolate Works.
It says Chocolate Works, Red Bank, New Jersey, $27.51 on August 29th.
Oh, that was in the summer. Yeah, we went. Yeah. The kids wanted ice cream. That was Grubhub?
No, that was separate from Grubhub. Grubhub was another transaction for $44.
Yeah. No. The chocolate, I think that was, we went out for ice cream or something. I don't know. Wouldn't be bad if I was not spending on everything else.
Yeah, I mean, you have the income to be able to enjoy some and spend some money on yourself like your dad taught you. But when you're spending outrageously like this, it's not good. I mean, we got $142 at Target. We got $42 at Family Dollar, $21 at McDonald's all in the same day. So we just spent $200 in a single day eating out and shopping.
Yeah.
We've got more Grubhub for $31. We've got ShopRite for $185. We have a bunch of different Zelle transactions. We have another Verizon for $55. Why do you have another Verizon account?
Because down the shore, we don't have a TV down the shore, right? Because the kids are supposed to go out and play and whatever. But my special needs daughter, she needs to have the internet so she could at least have her iPad because that's all she does. So I pay for the internet.
Is there not Wi-Fi at the house?
No.
Can she use your phone?
Yeah, but if I say I go up on the beach, because we live on the beach, say I go up on the beach and she's at the house, somebody's got to leave their phone with her. The reception is not really good. I don't mind paying for it because then you can suspend it. But then what happened was I forgot that I suspended it and it came back on and I didn't know what the bill was. Oh, I'm so ashamed, Bill.
I don't mind you spending that as long as we start cutting back on other things.
The things, right?
But we got more DoorDash for $31, more DoorDash for $48. We've got, you're getting cash back, $40 of cash back when you did something. We have a withdrawal, ATM withdrawal for $100. We've got Fashion Nova for $86. We've got more Grubhub for $41. Who's Elise Gold?
She's my therapist. But okay, so she's at a network, but you're going to be very upset with me, Bailey, I can tell, because I haven't sent the receipts in to get the money back because my insurance pays like 80%.
How long have you not been doing that for?
A couple of months. I did it once and I got like $1,200 back. It was like, but I figured I'd do it around Christmas time so I get a nice check to buy Christmas presents.
Lisa, you got to be getting that money and filing every single month to get that back. Because I can promise you something's going to slip through the cracks and you're not going to get the full amount back that you're supposed to be getting from your insurance.
Right, like I don't clock in all the time. Yeah, that's what we have to do, right?
And that's another thing in terms of budget. Go see your therapist, 100% should be doing that. But again, need to have that on your budget as a line item because you got to understand where your money's going. And that's however much a month it's coming out, that is accounting towards these monthly expenses. We got more Instacart for $143. We've got what is T-Mobile for $180? We have 2 Verizon accounts and we have a T-Mobile account.
That's the cell phones. That's the 3 cell phones. T-Mobile.
We need to figure out how to consolidate the Verizon stuff down. I don't know why you have Verizon account for the iPad, but then T-Mobile for the phones. Sounds very complicated having things spread across the board. We got to figure out ways to consolidate that down. And then we got, let's see what else we have on here. We got more Grubhub for $40. We got more Grubhub for $23. We got more Grubhub for $45. We got Netflix. We got Uber for $10. We got DoorDash for $15. We got Grubhub for $40. Way too much money spent on eating out and food delivery. So last month alone, your starting balance was $4,700. You had $5,677 deposited during this time period, but you spent $8,815. You can't survive spending $8,815 a month. We got $1,500 left in your bank account at the end of the statement. That was about a month ago. And if you continue on that cycle, that balance is going to zero. How much is in there right now?
Wait, how much is in where?
In your checking account right now.
My checking account right now. Right. Okay, so let me tell you. But how come every month I'm okay then? Because eventually I'm not going to be, right?
You're not okay. You got a balance on your credit card. You spent $3,000 on your credit card that you can't pay off.
I have $1,186 right now.
Okay, so it's gone down $400 since the statement ended. So that means over the last 30 days, you've spent $400 more than you have in your bank account, which means you do that for the next 2 months, 3 months, you're going to be at zero. So that means we got to start changing today so you're not in that situation.
I have so many things I have to change. But my FICO score went up.
FICO score doesn't matter right now. I could care less about your credit card or your credit score right now. Okay, let's look at the credit cards because that $8,000 you spend doesn't include these credit card transactions. Well, I guess some of those were payments to the credit card, so I guess it does count those deposits. But in terms of spending, we have $45 for Easy Pass. We have $17 you paid in interest. We have a Chinese restaurant you went to in Hoboken for $57. We've got more interest for $17. We have more Easy Passes. How much you spend on Easy Passes a month?
I don't know.
Is that just different toll roads you have to take in New Jersey?
Yeah, for my daughter to get to school.
Okay. I mean, those are the main things on this card. Looks like it's Easy Pass and a few different food things. But looking at your debit card transactions, we're definitely spending way too much money. And my first suggestion to you is we have to start budgeting your money. You have to set a plan and understand how much money you're bringing in, which is about $5,500 right now. So you need to go in and figure out what your pay stubs are, what your gross salary is. Then obviously we have the net income for your salary. We have the income from the healthcare stuff for your daughter and Social Security. So that all accounts for your net income. And then from there, we have to start building out these expense budgets. So you know what your mortgage is, you know what your car insurance is, you know roughly what your gas is, and those are all kind of fixed items in there. After that, and other fixed costs, therapist. Put that in as a fixed cost because you need to be going to see your therapist. Don't get rid of that. But apart from that, a lot of it is variable costs. So eating out, entertainment, shopping, subscriptions. Those are all variable costs. Those are not necessities. You do not need to be eating out right now. You do not need to be shopping on Fashion Nova, at Target, at Five Below, at any of these places until you get out of debt. And so I'd be putting all those budgets down to zero. Groceries, $1,200 a month for 3 people. Seems like a lot in terms of groceries plus you're eating out. My wife and I, when we go to the grocery store, we spend about $100 to $125 a week for 2 of us. We do eat out Friday night, Saturdays, and sometimes on Sundays. But overall, I would say your grocery bill, I would try to get that down to about $1,000 and make sure that you're going once a week, buying in bulk. Not Instacarting will take you from probably $1,200 a month down to under $1,000 just because of that. So you need to start just setting those categories and figure out, okay, once you put all that in, you should have margin left over. You shouldn't be spending $5,500 if you set these parameters and set these realistic goals. You cut out the eating out, you cut out the entertainment, you cut out these subscriptions, cut the landline, cut the cable, you need Wi-Fi, whatever it is, but you shouldn't be spending $5,500. I think you should have at least $1,000 a month left over after all said and done. And once you start budgeting, then you're going to be able to track your expenses every single month, and you're being able to say, okay, this week, or we got a week left in the month, I have $200 left on my grocery budget for the month. That means this week we're buying in bulk, we're buying ground beef or chicken or whatever in bulk so we can come in under this month in terms of our budget. And you have to start tracking your spending and understanding where it's going. Because right now, not tracking your expenses, you have no idea how much money you spent last month. You have no idea how much money you're spending this month. And that's just going to put you in a cycle that is never going to change unless you decide to start tracking your money and looking at it. I mean, Tom Brady didn't win 7 Super Bowls by waking up and not having a plan for his workout for the day, for his weightlifting program, or for anything. And you're not going to build wealth. You're not going to get out of debt without having a plan and following it. You're not going to be able to measure that either. Because even if you said, hey, today, I'm going to start trying to get out of debt. If you don't have a plan, if you don't measure your net worth, if you don't measure your debt payoff, how are you going to be able to quantify whether you're on the right track or if you're succeeding? And a budget helps you do that. It gives you a guideline of how much you're spending every single month. It gives you a guideline of how much money should be going towards paying off debt. And it allows you to actually see progress too. So you can look back every single month and say, okay, I was spent under on these budgets this month, or hey, I was over on this month. I need to cut back spending here next month. And it gives you that roadmap and guideline to start following in your life. That is number one, what you need to be doing. Number 2 is credit cards. You sent me, well, I guess my first suggestion with credit cards is if you ever carry balance on credit cards, you need to cut up your credit cards and you need to throw them away. Because right now you got these 2 credit cards, you have $2,500 in balances on it. And I 1,000% agree with your dad. Your dad said if you cannot afford to pay that in full at the end of the month, you should not be using a credit card. And right now on these documents, you spent $40, $50, $60 a month that is just going towards interest towards these credit card companies. And that is $60 that you spent that you do not have in your bank account so you can't pay it off, that you're just giving to the credit card companies every single month. And guess what? They love that because they're charging you 20, 30% interest rates on these balances, and that's money for them. That's music to their ears when they have people that are carrying balances because that just makes them more money. So credit cards, we got to start changing that. I would say cut them up, or at least, at the worst, put them in a Ziploc bag, put them in your freezer, and don't touch them. If you say, hey, I want to have a credit card because what if I need it for so-and-so emergency? Try to live 30 days, 60 days, 90 days without swiping your credit card. Put it in the freezer. Don't use it. Don't even look at it. Don't even give yourself the opportunity. The Amazon card, I would cancel that immediately because guess what? Amazon card is going to try to get you to spend more money on Amazon. It's going to try to get you to spend more money on shopping. And that's not what you need to be doing right now. The other one, if you want to put in the freezer, lock it away for 90 days. And then at the end of 90 days, you realize, hey, I don't need this. You can get rid of it at that point. But I just would not even give yourself the opportunity to put more money on those credit cards and spend money you don't have. And you can only do that by eliminating a credit card in your life. So I would get rid of that. And then you have to start working my suggestion would be the debt snowball in terms of paying this debt off. Are you familiar with what the debt snowball is? So the debt snowball is paying debts from the smallest to largest. So right now we have two different debts. We have a $500 Amazon card, and we have a $2,000 Wells Fargo card. So what you should be doing is, say we have $500 a month left over after all expenses are taken over at the end of each month. You should have more. You should have $1,000. But for easy, all intents and purposes, we'll say $500. Month one, you'll be paying the minimum payments on both credit cards. But with that extra $500, you'd be throwing that towards the smallest debt. So in this instance, it'd be the Amazon card. So after month one, you'd be putting $500 extra towards the Amazon card, which would pay that credit card off because it's only a $500 balance. So it means month two, you'd be only having one credit card left, which is Wells Fargo. That $500 you were throwing at the month before towards the Amazon card, you'd be throwing that at the Wells Fargo card. And then the next month, you'd be throwing an extra $500, the next month, extra $500, the next month, extra $500, and be paid off. In your instance, there's only two different debts. A lot of people use debt snowball method when they have 6, 7, 8, 10 different debts, and you just list them from smallest to largest. But that way, you can clear your Amazon card in 1 month. And then guess what? The Wells Fargo card, I would suggest you be able to get that paid off in the next 2 months because you should have $1,000 left over. So this should be a 2 to 3 month max timeline to get out of credit card debt. And when you're done with that, or I guess during that or at the beginning of it, throw away your credit cards, cut them up, whatever you need to do to get rid of them so you don't even present yourself with the opportunity to start spending on those when you get out of credit card debt. That should be a 90-day timeline. You should have a goal. You should try to hustle and try to do it by the end of this year. But worst case, set a goal for January 31st. And it should be paying off this debt. I mean, that's $800 a month to get these essentially paid off for the next 3 months. And you have plenty of room in that. Yes, is it going to mean not going to Target, spending $150? Does that mean not spending hundreds of dollars on DoorDash or Instacart every single month? Yes, it is. You're going to have to change those habits, but you're going to be able to do that. Your rent is only 24% of your net income, which is a great spot to be in. A lot of people, especially if you're living in Hoboken or New York and your rent is $4,000 a month, yeah, it'd be very difficult to pay off this debt. Right now we're at $1,348 a month, which is a small portion of your income right now. So that means we have to figure out where is that margin in your transactions and your monthly budget to be able to throw towards this debt. And I would have a goal for you of paying this off in the next 3 months. I would like to see it by the end of this year, and that'd be my goal. And that's what I'm gonna challenge you is, hey, can you do that in the next 2 months? I think you will feel a huge weight lifted off your shoulder if you can do that before the start of next year and just start 2024 on a fresh slate without any debt. But I think you can do that. What do you think?
I can. I know I can do it. Then I have the Instacart and the Grubhub, yes. The credit card, then I'm not going to have it. That's like my enjoyment. I don't have any other enjoyment. Well, no, buying stuff like that,
Being in debt's your enjoyment? So buying stuff to go into debt is your enjoyment?
Yeah.
That doesn't sound enjoyable to me.
No, the debt is not enjoyable. But, well, first of all, like, I don't go shopping for myself. So if I go Fashion Nova, it's like cheap clothes. I buy them, that's my clothes that I wear. That's the only shopping I do.
Are the clothes in your closet, or they all have holes in them? Or why did we spend $90 at Fashion Nova? Target, $142. Could you have gone 3 months without buying new clothes? Answer that yes or no.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are non-necessities.
Right.
You chose, hey, I'm going to go spend $100 on Fashion Nova, $140 at Target, versus, hey, I'm going to start paying down this debt so that when I do pay off this debt, I can then start allocating $200 a month towards shopping. And guess what? That can be guilt-free shopping where hey, I can afford this because I have no debt and I have allocated my budget $150 or $200 a month towards shopping. So I can press that buy button knowing that, hey, I can afford this. Hey, I'm still saving money every single month, but I do have some margin in my budget every single month. Just like your father taught you, spend a little bit on yourself, but do it after you save money first.
Right.
So I'm all for spending money on yourself on things you enjoy and things you want to do, but it has to be after you pay your bills, after you save some money, and then you can start doing that. And right now we got Amazon bills to be paid. We have other credit card bills being paid. We obviously have normal living expenses, and we're not saving anything. So we got to check off steps 1 and 2 before you say, hey, let's start opening up that shopping budget within reason to spend money on stuff that you actually want to do. And then after that, do you know who Dave Ramsey is?
No.
So I'll send you some of his resources after this too, but he is a radio host, personality, financial author that just talks a lot about paying off debt, and he has different things called the baby steps. He teaches a lot about Debt Snowball, and I'll send you his resources too to learn. He's a great resource, free podcast, everything radio show to listen to, but he teaches pay off all your debt or save up a $1,000 emergency fund, which you have saved up. Step 2 is pay off your debts, which is what we just talked about in the next 90 days. Step 3 is then build up an emergency fund. So you need an emergency fund for when you need new tires or a medical emergency comes up or something happens. You need an emergency fund, and typically 3 to 6 months of expenses is what's suggested. So after you pay off all debt, we got to start saving up an emergency fund so that when stuff does go awry, because in life stuff does happen, you have money to pull from and you're not putting on credit. So that'd be your next step after that. Then after that, we got to start saving and investing money, because apart from the emergency fund we don't touch. We store it away, hope we never touch it, but it's there in case a rainy day happens. And after that, we start saving and investing money. And so you need to start looking at what retirement plans or pension benefits or anything that you're offered from your work, because if you've been working for the city for 27 years, I'm assuming you're involved in some sort of retirement plan. I'm assuming something's pulled out of your paycheck. They typically do that automatically. But you need to figure out what retirement benefits do you have, if any, right now. And then apart from that, you have to start educating yourself more about investing, about saving. Because like I said at the beginning of this, Social Security, when it starts hitting at 67, you start withdrawing it. I don't want that to be your only source of income. I don't want that to be your only source of money living off of. Because guess what? What if Social Security is gone 15 years from now or 10 years from now? I don't want you to be in that situation. So we got to start figuring out what your retirement benefits currently are. And then how can we get you from where we are now with $30,000 in your 2 investment accounts to whatever spot you need to be 10 years from now. And there's a lot of different numbers we can run on that. I'll send you some resources too, just to learn how do you figure that out, how you calculate that. But then we got to start figuring out how much money we need to start saving and investing every single year to get you that spot. Once you figure out what retirement plans you currently have through work. And really just all of that too is we have to start educating, start learning. And took the first step coming on here, being open and transparent and coming with an open mind saying, hey, I don't know what I don't know and I'm trying to learn because I need to change. And you have to start learning after this. And that means reading books. That means finding people that are trustworthy to learn about finances from on YouTube, free resources, whatever it might be. Again, I'll send you a ton of my favorite people. Dave Ramsey's great. Meet Sadie, Money with Katie. There's a lot of awesome people out there that you can learn from and start educating yourself. But I can't sit here and just pour financial education down your ears. And if you, I can only tell you so much. And unless you decide, hey, I'm going to change today, or hey, I'm going to start learning and educating myself, nothing's going to happen. So you have to make that decision for yourself, start learning and educating yourself. And that starts with just finding YouTube channels, finding podcasts, whatever it is to listen to in your free time, whether you're cleaning around the house, you're cooking, you're going for a walk in the park, figure out what you're doing, whether you're driving, and start just listening to those things in your free time. And one of my last pieces of advice is you sent me a screenshot of, is this a good credit card for a 19-year-old daughter, college, sophomore?
Yeah, I don't know what a good credit card. She's got to open a credit card, right, to kind of establish credit, right?
Do you want me to give you my honest feedback? Don't open her a credit card.
Okay.
Because she needs to learn, one, about finances. She needs to understand what budgeting is. She needs to understand what credit card debt is, how it can put you in a vicious cycle, the ins and outs of that. But if you open up a credit card and give it to a college kid without any financial understanding, especially if she doesn't have any income coming in, if she's depending solely on you for living expenses, for food, for whatever, and you give someone a credit card, that's not a good situation to put.
Yeah, no, she has an income. She works.
Okay, good. I had friends in college. The issue I have with giving college kids credit cards is I've seen plenty of my friends in college maxed out credit cards. They open credit cards, they max them out, and they realize, oh, I have to pay this back, or, oh, this is what interest is. And it just puts them in a bad cycle. So what I would like to see is let's start budgeting money, make sure she's educating herself, and then you can revisit the credit card couple years from now. Once she's out of college, working full time, that's when you could consider that. But I would not do that right now because I'm not a fan of it. I think more can go wrong when you open a new credit card in college than not.
So the resources that you're going to send me to learn, are they good for her as well?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I'll send resources that she can learn from that I personally listen. I mean, I listen to still probably 3, 4, 5 hours worth of financial podcast shows every single week still, because I'm still trying to learn. I'm trying to educate myself. I talk to hours of content. We're talking with people like yourself on the show, and I'm trying to learn too. And I just consume. I read newsletters, just constantly just try to learn and educate myself every single day. So I learn something new every single week that I didn't know the week before, and that just allows me to start learning, educating myself even more.
Okay.
And my last suggestion is we were talking about the VALAC at the beginning of this. I don't know the ins and outs of that, but it looks like it's an annuity plan. I'm not a biggest fan of annuity plans, but if you could look that up, figure out what the ins and outs of that are, what you're really signed up for, send that to me. I can send you some different resources on that too. But there's some different things with those, that suggestions, but I don't know the full ins and outs of what you're involved in or whatnot. If it's an annuity, if it's life insurance, if it's an actual investment plan. So I'd have to look into that. But personally, I'm not a fan of whole life insurance policies. I'm not a fan of annuity plans. I'm a fan of, hey, let's get money, put it in a brokerage account. Well, let's put it in retirement accounts first, then let's put it in brokerage accounts and invest it in index funds. I'll send you resources on that, investing, saving, just so you can learn. But right now, you gave yourself a 7 at the beginning of the show. I'd put you probably at a 2.5.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm worried for you being 57 and having credit card debt and not having enough to retire off of when you want to in 10 years. Because that investment account, yes, you got a positive net worth. Yes, you got $32,000 roughly in investment accounts, but that's not going to grow to $500,000 without contributing more money in the next 10 years. It's just not frankly going to get there, or $1 million. So we got to start changing today. You're living way beyond your means right now, given we spent $8,000 last month, making $5,500. You have no budget. You couldn't even tell me how much your income is. And that's just not a good spot to be in if you want to improve your financial situation. The beautiful thing is we can only go up from here. We can pay off the debt. We can start educating ourselves more, and we can start building wealth and saving and investing for the future. So you have income, you have margin to be able to do this. It's just now a matter of, do you want to do it? I can only tell you that you should do this. Now it really comes down to you at this point. Do you want to do it? Are you going to do it?
Yeah, definitely. I appreciate it.